Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a look at the Hamptons real estate scene, sort of navigating the landscape as we head into early 2025.
Exactly. We've pulled together insights from, well, all over, really. Developers, builders, market analysts, even rental guides.
Right. The goal is to give you, our listeners, a really clear picture because 2024 was quite dynamic, wasn't it? Lots of shifts.
Definitely. So our mission, if you like, is to cut through that noise, pinpoint the key trends for 2025, what really matters.
Okay, so let's jump in. First up, the buyers. It seems like the typical Hamptons buyer profile is changing. It's not just retirees and second home folks anymore.
That's a big one, yeah. Andreassi Development pointed this out. We're seeing a noticeable rise in younger professionals' families moving in since 2024.
Interesting. Is that just the remote work thing or something more?
It feels like more. I mean, remote work is part of it, sure, but it suggests maybe a longer-term lifestyle shift, people reevaluating city life versus, what the Hamptons offer.
And that's bound to affect what people want in a house, right?
Absolutely. Suddenly, things like proper home offices, really good high-speed internet, they're not just nice-to-haves, they're essentials.
Makes sense. And we're also hearing these newer buyers want convenience, like being close to restaurants, shops, that kind of thing.
Easy access is becoming more important. It points towards the Hamptons maybe becoming less seasonal, more of a year-round community for a wider range of people.
Which could change the whole feel of the place long term.
Potentially, yeah. Local businesses, infrastructure, it all ties in.
Okay, but some things don't change, right?
Yeah.
Waterfront property is still waterfront property.
Oh, completely. That allure is constant, still commands those premium prices, especially in places like, East Hampton, Sagaponack.
It's that classic Hampton stream.
It is. And it's not just the view, though that's huge. It's the lifestyle, the boating, the private beach access, paddle boarding, all that outdoor stuff.
And speaking of lifestyle, what about amenities? Sounds like luxury features are almost expected now at the high end.
Yeah, it seems that way. Think infinity pools, home theaters, wine cellars, those spa-like bathrooms.
Wow, so sellers are really decking these places out.
They are. And outdoor living is massive, too. Full outdoor kitchens, fire pits, beautiful landscaping. It's about the complete experience.
Now, this I found really interesting, the architecture. We're seeing more modern styles alongside the classic shingle look.
Yes. It's not replacing the traditional style, but there's definitely a growing preference, especially among maybe younger buyers, for modern, clean lines, open plans, lots of glass.
Like that clean, bright and white look some builders mentioned.
Exactly. Al Giaquinto from Plum Builders talked about that. But, people like Kristen Farrell also stressed that the traditional shingle style is still very much in demand. It's got that timeless Hamptons feel.
So a bit of both happening.
Yeah.
And sustainability is creeping into the modern designs more.
Definitely. Energy efficiency, smart home tech, it's becoming standard. We heard about contemporary places using things like thick granite walls, skylights, blending aesthetics with potentially better efficiency.
And things like solar panels, reclaimed wood.
It's moving beyond just a niche interest. Buyers are considering the environmental impact and, frankly, the long-term cost savings, too. It's a practical consideration now.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. What about renting? The seasonal rental market was strong in 2024.
Very strong. Both Andreassi and Rove Travel highlighted significant growth there. Homeowners are definitely making the most of those high summer rental rates.
Makes sense if you're not there full time.
Absolutely. And demand is highest, unsurprisingly, near the beaches, vineyards, good restaurants. Occupancy rates in peak summer, reportedly over 90%.
Wow, so the Hamptons summer scene is still booming. Is that appeal spreading geographically, too? We heard rumblings about the North Fork.
Yeah, the North Fork is gaining traction. It offers something a bit different, Vineyards, that farm-to-table vibe, it's generally quieter than the South Fork.
And maybe a bit more affordable.
Generally, yes. It can be a slightly easier entry point for buying or renting.
Okay, back to buying patterns. Is the remote work trend still a major factor?
It seems so. Andreassi stressed its continued influence. More people are making the Hamptons their primary residence, not just a weekend spot.
Which reinforces that demand for larger homes, home offices, reliable internet.
Exactly. And also proximity to the everyday stuff, schools, grocery stores, the essentials. It's not just about the beach anymore for full-time residents.
Yeah, the big one. Inventory. Always a story in the Hamptons. Still tight.
Oh, yeah. That's been a persistent challenge. Low inventory was definitely pushing prices up through 2024 and into early this year.
How low are we talking?
Well, Michael Peterson gave a pretty stark comparison, like around 1,200 units available recently compared to maybe $5,500 back in 2019.
Huge difference. So still very much a seller's market then.
Pretty much. It leads to competitive bidding, off-market deals becoming more common. Sellers are definitely in a strong position.
And are sellers using that position to, say, renovate before listing?
Smart ones are, yes, focusing on those key areas, kitchens, bathrooms, outdoor spaces to make their property stand out when choices are limited. It's a good strategy.
We also heard about a growing interest in vineyard estates. That's different from the usual beach focus.
It is. It taps into a different kind of luxury, doesn't it? More land, privacy, maybe a private tasting room, those vineyard views. It's a whole different vibe.
A sort of rustic luxury.
Kind of, yeah. While still being close to everything else the Hamptons offers.
And another interesting niche trend, wellness-focused homes.
Right. This really jumped out from the roundtable discussions and Andreasi's points. People actively want homes that support health and relaxation.
So things like home gyms, saunas.
Exactly. Meditation gardens, yoga studios.
Wow.
Randy Ball and Martha Gunderson specifically called out the demand for home gyms and those really nice spa bathrooms. It's about integrating wellness into the home itself.
And tying back to what we said earlier, sustainability is becoming more mainstream too.
Definitely. It's not just about eco-friendly construction, like using green materials or reclaimed wood, but also the ongoing efficiency. Solar panels, geothermal heating, cooling. Buyers are asking about this stuff.
So it's both an ethical choice and a practical one.
I think so, yeah. It reflects broader societal trends, but also people see the long-term value.
Okay, let's look at the hard numbers. Miller Samuel's Q1 2025 report. What did that tell us?
Some key things. The median sales price actually crossed the $2 million mark for the first time. That's a pretty big jump year over year.
Wow. And sales volume.
Also up sharply for the sixth quarter in a row, I think. Interestingly, listing inventory has been creeping up for a couple of years now.
So maybe things are loosening up.
Well, it seems like the increased inventory is mostly just allowing more deals to happen rather than really shifting the balance of power away from sellers, at least not yet.
And which price segment was most active?
The report highlighted a record share of sales happening between $1 million and $5 million. So that mid to upper range is really busy.
Now, the experts we looked at, did they all agree on the 2024 market?
Not entirely. Some were surprised inventory stayed so low, especially with supply chains supposedly improving. Michael Peterson mentioned that.
But looking ahead to the rest of 2025,
Yeah.
what's the general feeling?
Generally optimistic, I'd say. Some hope for maybe a more balanced market. Simon Harrison, Judy Desiderio mentioned that possibility. But
the low inventory problem isn't going away overnight.
Exactly. Many still predict it'll remain a seller's market for a while because of that. Though Barry McGovern did note buyers were getting more price sensitive in 2024, so there are limits.
Did external factors play a role? Like, did the 2024 election have any impact?
According to the 27 East Roundtable, it seemed to. Like, some pent-up demand was released afterwards, a bit more optimism, more activity.
Okay. And new construction, still a big factor.
Huge. Demand is strong for brand new homes with all the modern features, customization options, architectural design, smart tech, those amazing outdoor spaces.
Plus the sustainability angle we talked about.
Right. That's often built in from the start with new builds. Southampton and East Hampton are still hot spots for new construction.
Makes sense. What about the rental market for summer 2025? Still looking strong.
Generally, yes, especially at the high end. The peak season, Memorial Day to Labor Day, is always popular. But some agents, like Angela Boyerstump, noted bookings started a bit slower this year. And Kaylin Rayner suggested we might see more rental inventory.
Why is that?
Potentially from people who bought during the pandemic boom and maybe now want to rent their places out.
Interesting dynamic. But the super luxury rentals are still doing well.
Seems so, yeah. John Francesco said that end of the market is solid. And Barry McGovern noticed renters are booking later, closer to the actual dates.
Okay, fascinating. Let's touch on the business side quickly. AI in real estate, is that a thing in the Hamptons yet?
It's starting to be, mostly for marketing, streamlining tasks, like predicting trends, maybe optimizing ads, drafting listing descriptions automatically.
But it's not replacing the agents.
No, definitely not. Everyone agrees the human touch, that personal connection, is still crucial, especially in a market like the Hamptons.
And the NAR settlement, any impact there?
Mainly more transparency around commissions, apparently. More paperwork, needing formal buyer-broker agreements up front.
But are sellers still pitching buyer-agent commissions?
Largely, yes. That seems to be the standard practice continuing in the Hamptons, according to Judy Desidio and others.
What about homeowners insurance? We heard costs are rising.
Yeah, that's becoming a real issue. Premiums are going up, especially for waterfront homes or just older properties. It's something buyers and sellers are definitely paying more attention to now.
Could it affect deals?
Barry McGovern suggested it already has in some cases. High insurance quotes can be a stumbling block.
Okay, finally. Specific amenities. Anything really hot right now besides the big luxury items?
Pickleball.
Really, pickleball courts.
Apparently, yes. Also, those outdoor kitchens we mentioned, home gyms and wellness areas are huge. Smart home tech is standard now. Oh, and pet-friendly features.
Pet-friendly, okay.
EV chargers, too. And interestingly, Amy Fitzpatrick Martin mentioned a bit of a move away from totally open floor plans, people wanting some cozier, separate spaces again.
Huh, that's a subtle shift. So, quite a lot going on, definitely. So if we try to wrap this all up, the Hamptons market in early 2025 is really dynamic. You've got these changing buyer groups, the constant pull of waterfront, but also this rise in modern design and sustainability.
Right. And wellness is a big theme. Inventory is still the main story controlling prices, but maybe, just maybe, starting to see signs of a slight shift towards balance.
Plus, the rental market has its own nuances, and things like AI and insurance costs are becoming part of the conversation too.
It's a complex mix, for sure. You got to stay informed.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought to leave you with. Given everything we've discussed, the potential for more inventory, interest rates doing whatever they do, these evolving buyer tastes, where might the specific opportunities pop up in the Hamptons market for different kinds of buyers or sellers as we go through the rest of 2025?
That's a good question to chew on.
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.